Buonasera, buongiorno, hello everybody. Welcome to Wednesday night with MRC. Tonight we are in the land that many people get confused as to where we are. That is because, of course, this is San Marino, the Emilia-Romagna region of Italia, or just Imola if you want to be specific to the track. It doesn't matter what you want to call this race, and it does not matter where you are watching from, because it is 7 o'clock UK time, and that means it is time for Tier 3. And joining me tonight, well, he's one of the Ferrari faithful this season, racing in Tier 2 as part of the Italian Stallions. Some of you know him as the Hobnob, or as the supreme defender of the former Tier 3 ranks, but I know him as McBitty. Bitticus, how are we?
Not too bad, not too bad.
Good
Imola
stuff.
Again, here we go, round 3.
Indeedy, Imola. We love Imola. As racing fans, we all love Imola. That's my deep insight into the matter. If you don't like Imola, then, with all due respect, get some taste. So, who's the first car that's going to set a lap time? Let's have a look. I think it's a Haas. And that would be Dan, the Rotherham man, aka Boothie. Now then, Tier 3 tonight, it looks rather sunny on track and qualifying. Please, can anyone who's listening to the stream who is able to see the weather, please let us know if there is going to be some of the wet stuff. But first things first, Carl, do you want to do the honours and talk us through Mr. Booth's lap of Imola?
Well, obviously, over the start-finish line, full throttle, all the way down into the long run. Got to be careful of cars coming out the pit lane as you brake just as the curve starts for Tamburello through turns 1 and 2. And then the third one, and then it's the run down to the Villeneuve chicane, braking at the 50-metre board. And then you got the tight Tosa hairpin, keeps it nice and tidy. Then it's full throttle up the hill to Piratella. Keeps it nice and clean. Then Acquaminarale, very difficult part of the track as he overcooks it a little. Up the hill to the chicane. Got to be careful that you don't overdo it. Full throttle down to the 2 Ravazzas. Here's the first Ravazza. And then the second. Then it's literally foot to the floor to the line.
There we go, our first lap is on the board. Dan the Booth with an 18.3. Not a bad banker, and I'm sure he and everyone else are going to look to beat that, as immediately Melvin in the Ferrari sets 1:17.6, but Connor has retired. The Red Bull driver has lost it at Tamburello. Just outside Tamburello on the way down to Villeneuve. Jumping aboard Boothie just to have a look there. Oh dear. Hopefully his teammates, the babiest of Hornets in the other Red Bull, can do better. He's coming through Ravazza 1 and 2 now. Although we're going to call them Ravioli 1 and 2 because, well, when in Italy. Baby Hornet goes P6 with a 20.1. I'm sure that's just a banker for now. Now then, let's see. B17, let's just say hello to B17, his good friend Steve J, who is also known as Kaiser Soze. Says, good luck tonight, better luck from your last race. Go and get yourself a podium, son. So, good luck, lad. Someone who gonna not wish too much good luck to is Gavin, the Night Shadow Jenkins. He likes to wish rain and ill on everybody else. So, Gav, rain on you. Rob Smith in the McLaren is currently P2, just behind the Melvin. Gav is P3, P4, B17, P5 is the Booth. 6th, Mutt's Nuts in the Alpine. He'll be hoping to be the Dog's Bollocks rather than the Mutt's Nuts. Mindful Wasp. He's made a return to MRC in the last few months. He had some mega pace before in his last stint with us. And he's roaring up through the final two corners now to start a lap. Let's see what he can do in the Alfa Romeo, which of course is another of the Italian teams. Sponsored by Dolmio. Meanwhile, Lewis Jackster Hamilton has just gone fastest with a 1:17.0. He will not forgive me for that, Willie Cow.
I think I was going along the same lines, to be fair.
Ooh! Mindful with a bit wide there, but he got away with it. Lost, and he's got purple first sector. Now then, the mindful Mr. Wasp heads up the hill to Piratella. This is my favourite corner of the course. You brake as late as you dare, throw it in, and pray that the tyres are going to hang on. Get on the throttle as soon as you can and carry the speed down into Acromenarale. Again, as you touched on there, Carl, on the opening lap. So easy to lose it here. But if you have the grip, you can fly. Don't brake too late when you get to the very anti-outer chicane, of course. Easily done with the big curbs and how tight it is to get through the two corners. But into Ravioli Ravazza 1. He's got a car ahead, but that shouldn't give him any issues. If anything, he might get a slipstream on the way down to the line. Nice and tidy from the Mr. Wasp. And he crossed the line, P4, 18.0. And
splits the two McLarens.
He does. My head has been put on a spike, according to the most beautiful birthday man that it was yesterday. That is Fabian Shelton. Happy birthday for yesterday, my good friend and my teammate. He believes Jax is going to hunt me down and kill me, and he's right. He will. Jackster will kill me. Oh, there's a car on the wall. It's an Alpha Tauri. Which one is it? It's Scratch. No, it's not. I lie. It's Donny. Jay Donny has put it in the wall just on the exit of Villeneuve, so maybe he's having issues. Now then, Fire J Rooster, Jacob, the West Ham fan, by the way. West Ham doing quite well in Europe this season. Jacob, back on European soil, will be hoping at Imola to have a good result following the trip to Asia for the likes of Japan. We're going to Australia next, so whilst we're in Europe, like his beloved West Ham, can he do a good job? Here we go, he's in the middle sector, just into the final sector now of this lap. And he's in the very beautiful Williams. He's out of ERS, so it looks to me like this is not his first lap on the tyre. And if it is, well, something's gone wrong with his ERS, but nevertheless, he pits. Okay, yeah, brilliant. He's made me look a bit silly, he's mugged me off. Now
just had two decent laps in. You had Fox, the Tier 2 driver that's reserving in Tier 3, went, I think it was P5,
P6
and then
now.
To 6.
Yeah.
Because Scratch went P4 in a decent lap of a 17.8.
Indeed. Fox River is in a Ferrari, and he's your teammate in a Ferrari in Tier 2, unless I'm incorrect.
That is correct. So you got one half of the team out on track, and the other half in this sweaty comms box.
Indeedy. And it's only sweaty because we're furious with anger. And that's for different reasons. But anyway, we'll come back to that later. So, who can we jump on board with? Schofield. Let's go with Mr. Schofield. Okay, he's fitting as well. Let's not go with him. Back Mazo. Back once again. Mr. Shelton, the error voice of reason, has correctly reminded me that Fire J Rooster, aka Jacob, is on the quali ban because he's a higher tier. And oh no, he's not higher tier, sorry, he's just on quali ban, apologies, and that is why he is not setting a time. That is a shame, but that is what it is. Back Mazo, though, is back in MRC after a short while away as well, and it's great to see him back on track. He has rejoined and done races since our last day comms, but I haven't had a chance to say welcome back to the Finnish superstar that is Back Mazo. It's lovely to see him back on the airwaves, back on the stream. Good to see you, my friend. Speaking of comments, hello Mandy. Apologies, I just realised I missed Mandy's comment. Hello Mandy, I'm very sorry, that was very rude of me. I hope you're well. I hope the various arena tours in Coventry are not causing too much hassle for you. I know it's annoying with traffic, so I hope you're all well. Now, back to the racing. Back Mazo into turn 1. Bissy, talk us through his lap.
As we're about, where are we? We're about just out of the Cambello?
Yeah, into Villeneuve.
Into Villeneuve, yeah, through Villeneuve. Toes a hairpin. Then it's obviously uphill, foot to the floor. I tend to brake around just before the 50 for Piratella here, as he keeps it tight, and then obviously Aqua Minerale, where it's down, and then back uphill again. Into the Variante Alta. Chicane, nice and tidy. Then it's getting the purple for that one. I don't know if that's actually the quickest overall, but we'll soon find out. Brakes for, bit very deep into the first Ravazza, which saves this line into the second one, and now foot to the floor, to the start-finish line. Slight improvement, well, a second improvement, but not much on the positioning.
Indeed. Now then, Carl, I know that a certain Philip Schofield in real life has caused a few issues, but our own MRC Schofield, he is not from that same branch of the tree. He's a different man altogether, and he's one of our newer drivers. Very excited to see him on track. He's now back on track. He's on an out lap. Can you keep an eye on him and let us know when he starts his lap? Because I'd love to jump on board with the newbie.
Will do.
I'm just going to jump to Ghost Rider, our French baton. Monsieur French, we in the French Alpine in Italia. Here he comes, he's just finishing his lap, comes into Ravazza 1, just keeps on track, nearly runs the track limits. Twice, in fact, and here he comes to the line. And he goes P15 with a 118.4. Ghost Rider's one of those guys.
Our resident Schofield is hitting the Ravazza.
Brilliant, I was jumping board with him. Ghost Rider is someone who in qualifying doesn't have as much pace as he does in the race. He gets stronger as the race goes on. So don't dismiss him just for being slightly down the order. He's someone who can come through the field. Now then, Philip, as we're going to call him in P17 in the Haas. Let's see what he can do. Now then, Schofield, he's running on a Thrustmaster. I was chatting to him earlier this week. He's running a Thrustmaster setup, which is a very good wheel, and he's enjoying being part of this league so far, which is fantastic to hear. He has just had an okay start of the lap through the first sector, and he heads up the hill to Piratella, the best corner on the track. He's gone very wide, but he's not invalidating. He can get away with it there because you don't gain time by running wide. You run wide, you will lose more if you even keep it in a straight line. It's difficult. Now then, heading down to the Variante Alta. Oh, he's got it a little bit out of sorts, and he has invalidated. That's a shame. Super aggressive on the way in, and he did pay the price for it on this occasion. As you say, Carl, too hot, hot damn. Now then, Mutt Nuts, meanwhile, has snuck it into P2. Rob Smith is now up to P3. So we've missed a couple of laps here, but crucially, we've not missed everything. Mindful Wasp, just jumping on board here with him as he heads into the Toza, the hairpin at the bottom of the hill. Oh, he's in the wall!
Ooh.
Mindful Wasp has somehow got into the wall at Toza. Oh, wow, but he doesn't look to have got any damage. He looks to have got away with that one. So, anyway.
What's that front wing made of?
Well, that front wing must be made of weapons-grade titanium, because he survived. Now then, Scratch Charisma. Scratch is currently on the way down into Ravioli 1. And now Ravioli 2. Brendan, the man who loves to travel and flex his muscles on Instagram, has currently got P6 in the Alpha Tauri. He'll be happy with his efforts, but I know Scratch has got more in the bag. This is, of course, it's a former Tier 1 driver who's had a couple of less successful seasons and dropped down the rankings, but he has potential to fight his way back up again, I'm sure. Neil, oh, he's just invalidated at Piratella. Rarity Danny, nope. Fox River. Foxy Bingo on the mediums. He's only allowed to qualify on the mediums because of being a Tier 2 driver. So he's done one lap on the mediums, currently P9. And he's back out there, ready to go again. Connor Hardy has popped up in the comms box to say hello, and that watching qualifying is not as fun as driving in qualifying. You're right, Connor. You're right. It is not as fun. But fear not, if you get your drum kit out, go full Phil Collins. There's something coming in the air tonight. Carl, who are you watching?
I was keeping an eye on my
Boofy's at the
teammate
moment.
to see how he does. Ooh, where's he gone? Oh,
He's at Aqua Minerale. Let's leave him be.
Yeah.
Baby Hornet. I feel Baby Hornet's a little out of position currently in P15.
Oh, Gav's just lost it at Villeneuve.
Oh, no.
Oh, sorry. Not Villeneuve. Tamarello. But he has... I think he just finished a lap, though. He's P5.
Yep. He's half a second off of Jackson. Melvin, by the way, has just gone P2. Melvin.
He's been P2 for quite a bit. We did miss it. It's the Dutch show at the moment here in Italy.
Don't say things like that.
So, for my guess is you've got pretty much Nick de Vries heading Max Verstappen.
Indeed. I'm going to credit Sociopath here for a very out there point that he's just made, which is there is a Schofield and a Fox River. For those of you who are Prison Break fans, Michael Schofield, of course, he broke out of Fox River. There you go. Obviously, Danny has just retired. He's in the pit lane, I believe. B17, P5 in the Mercedes has just usurped Gavin Jenkins.
Laps coming in quick and
They
fast
are
now,
indeed.
especially coming to the end of the session.
Gav's lost it at Ravazza 2. Let's jump to our current pole sister, Jackster, who's 2 tenths up in sector 1. Let's jump on board with Mercedes. Let's see what he can do. Is he going to put a 16 on the board? Are we going to see it? Melvin's in the pits and Melvin will not contest him for pole. Can anybody else? Very under control through Aqua Minerale, very stable. Jax, of course, was in tier 1 on Monday, giving himself a chance to fight the big boys. He's lost a couple of attempts in that middle sector, but can he find anything in the end of the lap? Here we go, heading down into Ravazza Ravioli 1. Brakes late and hard, about 70 metre board. Throws it on top of the curb. Goes a little bit wide. He's in the... he's got a win in the gravel. That will have cost him time. But he improves by 0.03 of a second. So Jackson has improved ever so slightly. Melvin's back on track. And despite this graphic saying he was in the pits, he's on a lap. So what can Melvin do? He started a lap just in time. Melvin, the first sector, is up. He's 0.04 up on himself. He will need to find another 0.04 to have a chance at pole. What can the Dutch maestro do? Oh, that's very wide. Mindful Wasp!
Glitch of rain.
I didn't see it personally, but let's just persist for now. Mindful Wasp has gone fastest. Melvin, he's taken some very interesting lines off track, and he's lost a lot of time for doing so, but Mindful Wasp has taken pole. He's the first man in the 16s. Rob Smith is invalidated. Mutz Nuts is up on his time. He improves and goes P4. Fox River.
It's raining, Chris, but it's not going to affect anyone's lap.
Oh, no, I see it now. I see it now. Fox River is P6 currently on the mediums. Only half a second off the pole. It was a good lap. Neil. What can Neil do? He's in the final corner now. Heads to the line. Pedal to the metal. What is the Welshman going to do? P6, 17.4. Great lap. So, a third row lockout for McLaren as it stands with Rob Smith and Neil. And that, folks, is qualifying. Your pole sitter. He's back. It's Mindful Wasp. Cracking session into the 1:16.9s for Mindful. Jackster and Melvin, the Dutch duo, definitely made it a challenge for him, but he has prevailed. The real question is, what will the weather be like in the race?
Time will tell.
Indeed. Right, Carl, let's get frisky and start making predictions. Who are you putting some money on to win the race?
Well, looking at the times, you'd probably say Mindful, but it could be any one of those top three because of the pace they had in the qualifying.
Yep.
But
So
it depends what comes up in the race, because obviously safety cars, vice versa,
indeed.
weather.
Right. So really quickly, Mindful takes pole. Jackster P2, Melvin third, Mutsnut fourth, fifth and sixth for Rob and Neil, seventh for Fox River, eighth B17, ninth Day Johnny, 10th Gav, 11th Scratch, 12th Danny, 13th Philip Schofield, 14th Ghost Rider, 15th is Booth, 16th Baby Hornet, 17th Pat Mazo, 18th Aaron Voice, 19th Jay Rooster, and last but not least is Connor. Right. So I have to quickly get that in. I'm going to put my eggs firmly in the basket of a man. Oh, I need to think of how it is. Sorry, I'm rushing this through. But, it looks very dry. There's a bit of cloud above us all, so don't count some rain out. I'm going to go with Jackster. I'm going Jackster.
I'm going to go controversial here.
Go on then.
Because
just pick one person, go. One person. We haven't got long.
I'm going to go Gav.
Okay, Gav from P10, I think it was on the grid. As Mark says, qualifying pace is very different to race pace. We're going to find out very quickly who has a setup which works under the high tyre stress that Imola can give you. The rear tyres in particular do tend to start falling away from you here, which is weird because you're not in a whole lot of high acceleration zones, you're in a lot of tight twists, similar to that of Suzuka, Spain. So anyway, you're going for the man in P10, I'm going for the man in P2. I think it's fair to say that you're right. If there is any strategy or rain or safety cars, we could see a very large change in the order. Now then, tyre strategy. And it's fair to say... Oh, sorry, I need to get rid of the telemetry. Apologies, everybody. So, it is fair to say here that the tyres available, the mediums and the hards, as per every single week, the mediums and the hards are the safe bet to go on. But if you want to gamble, you could go for a soft, gamble on an early safety car, get onto the mediums, and then run for a second set of mediums later on. Fire Rooster is the only man on the grid to do so. Everyone else looks fairly even split for the hards and mediums. Interestingly, our pole sitter is on the hards, second is on the mediums, third is on the hards, fourth is on the mediums, and fifth is also on the mediums. So don't be surprised to see a few positions gained at the start by the likes of Jackster, Max Nuts and Rob Smith. But if Mindful and Melvin can hang on, and it's a big if, but if they can hang on despite the pace disadvantage that the hards have compared to the medium, don't be surprised if come lap 6, 7 or even 8, if it's dry of course, don't be surprised to see that they then start to have an advantage. Mark says that's the biggest split this week. Most in Tier 1 and Tier 2 went for the hards at the start. You're right, I was one of the few people to go for a medium in Tier 1. I think there's only 3 or 4 of us. And, humble brag, it went quite well. So, we'll leave that there. Anyway, don't be surprised. You did. And don't be surprised to see Fire Rooster making big moves off the line to make positions up, but so quickly having to make a pit stop. But let's quieten down the chit-chat as the grid forms up. It's a long run down to Tamburello. A very long run, and pole position here, weirdly, is not on the racing line. It's a bit of a weird one, and obviously the grid itself, you're on a slight angle towards where the start line going down towards turn 1. So, being on the opposite side of the grid, the even numbers, is actually not such a bad thing here. But, as the final cars of Connor and Error Voice line up, we will wait for the lights. Here we go. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we are racing! So, it's immediately a very, very spread out grid already straight away from the get-go. The cameras have finally come round to our favour, and Jackster straight away takes the lead from Mindful Wasp for those medium tyres being put to good use. Rob Smith up to P3, great start from the McLaren. That'll make the Hodge happy. But look at D Johnny up to P4. The big loser at the start. Melvin's down to 6th. He's had a disaster. Neil's down to 8th. Another one who's had a real mare. Ooh, we've got a few cars going wide coming out of Villeneuve. Clearly low on grip. And maybe they've not quite got their tyre temperatures up to the spec at the end of the formation lap. Fire Rooster on the comeback after dropping down to last. He's now up to 18th. Connor P19 and Bat Mazo just behind them. But look at the front. Jackstar is running away.
Obviously taking advantage being on the quicker tyre at the moment. He wants to extend that.
Indeed. And we've got people all over each other coming into the Variante Alta. We've also got a car off track. Dave Johnny. No, it's not. A light. Sorry.
Scratch.
It's scratched off track. But look here. Are the Aston Martins going to play a team game here? The two Scotsmen in the Aston Martins are very close to each other. I fear for Gav that he may have to support his teammate here. Great start from B17 as per Steve-O. That's on board with the Mercedes man. Into turn 1. He's quite close to the back of Day Johnny. No, he's got a much better run out of Tamburello. Is he going to get a move done into Villeneuve? Up the inside he goes. You've got to get this right if you're going to go for a move in. He's backed. Oh, he's backed out. Very wise. It's so difficult to get a move done there. Both of them are on the medium tyre as well. Oh, B17 going around the outside of Toza. What a move. Carl Radband stand up and take some praise. Although Johnny has now just had some internet issues, so let's not take away from B17 what a move that was. But maybe the internet assisted him there. But let's go with a great move. That means Melvin is back up to P5. Nuts, another who lost a few places at the start. But he's all over the back of Melvin. He's got that tyre advantage on the early stage. He needs to make the most of it while he can.
Still very tightly bunched in the middle of the pack.
Indeed.
As you probably expect, being only lap 2.
There's a little train behind Neil, which has got Fox River, Night Shadow, Day Johnny, RFC Danny, all in the mix there. D Johnny's back, which means he will retake control of his car shortly. Fantastic. He's only lost a few. He's lost a few positions, but he's not out of this race just yet. Error Voice, my favourite Dutch man in the whole wide world. Sorry, Jackster. Sorry, Melvin. But Error Voice is my teammate, and I love him dearly. And he's in the Williams, my favourite car, so look, I've got to kind of support the guy. He's currently in P15, the Tier 1 man, looking to have some fun today and have a little mix-up. Schofield, well, he's doing better than Philip right now. He's in P16, which interestingly is a bit older than the guys Philip likes to go for. But we'll leave that one there because I'm going to get in trouble shortly. He's got Fire J Rooster right up behind him.
Oh, Rob Smith just went a bit sketchy through Aqua Minerale, trying to get on the back of Mindful Wasp.
Brilliant, let's jump on board. The DRS comes alive at the end of this lap, so this could be a move.
McLaren's going to be hounding the back of that Alfa Romeo.
Indeed.
In his opening laps, with being the on the yellow wall medium tyre compared to the white wall hard tyre on that Alfa just in front.
Indeedy. Now then, Rob Smith with the DRS. He gets his flap nice and open as he looks at the rear of the Alfa Romeo. Can he line up Mindful? I feel Mindful will be a sitting duck here. Rob Smith up the inside. He doesn't quite get the advantage he might well have done. I think Mindful must have saved a little bit of his DRS. Mindful also known by the name of Lewis. And I think that might have assisted him. As Neil's gone round. Oh, Carl, can you jump on board with Neil and the Haas of Schofield? Has Philip Schofield had a coming together with another man? Please tell us more.
I can't tell exactly because they got going again eventually, but they probably could have. I mean, there is a car in between them though.
Indeed. Meanwhile, Rob Smith is gone from attacking Mindful to now being absolutely hounded by B17, and B17's got him coming out of Aqua Minerale. Rob made a slight mistake, got on the curb, had to get out of the throttle, and that allowed Carl Radband in the Silver Arrow to pounce. And I tell you what, if I were Radband, Mr. B17, I would be thinking very firmly about sending one up the inside of Mr. Marvel Wasman's turn 1. Mindful last lap will have used a fair bit of his DRS to defend, as will Carl this lap to attack. I suspect that B17 will get close, as you see him closing so fast. Will he get a move done, or will he wait till next lap? He's wise, he's sensible in his old age, is the B17. The man from Stevenage. I suspect he'll wait one more lap. Let's drop back down the order and have a look at who else is getting frisky. Boofy's up to P9. He's the biggest gainer on the grid today. 6 places up from his grid slot in the Haas. The Rotherham man looking to do some damage. Currently in an Aston Martin sandwich. He's got Gav behind him, and that's the one place you never want Gav to be. And then he's got RSC Danny ahead of him. RSC Danny goes very wide at Peratella though. That is not what you want to be doing too many times. You may risk yourself spinning or getting a penalty.
Rob Smith took B17 back.
We'll come back to the Aston Martins later. B17, what happened to Carl with them? This is interesting because these two, if they keep fighting, they're going to allow Mindful Wasp to potentially hang on for dear life. Back Mezo's had a moment, I believe. He's now dropped just a bit further down the order. But Carl, talk us through Rob Smith, B17 and Mindful Wasp.
All bunched together, obviously DRS train right now, because they're all getting it off one another, including Rob Smith off Mindful Wasp. So not really much overtaking chance.
Rob's had a big moment in Tamarello. Yeah, Rob had a moment in the middle of Tamarello, went a bit too deep, and now Melvin's going to get him on the run down to Villeneuve. Melvin squeezes him up the inside, and that's another move done. Well driven by Melvin, and unfortunate for Rob Smith there. He also was respectful and knew that he'd made a mistake and didn't make it too awkward for the cars around him. B17 going off track and gaining an advantage, getting a penalty for doing so. And now Rob Smith's got Fox River up the inside to Piratella. Oh, that was close. And we got a car round!
Contact,
Fox River's round. That is a hard place to shove a wheel up the inside, and I'm sure we will hear about that more in shooting later. But that is a dangerous place to go wheel to wheel. Now then, Rob Smith
down to 11th.
Rob Smith is not safe because just as he thought he might get some respite, Mutt's Nuts is hoping to deliver some doggy daycare to Rob Smith.
Ooh, sorry, I've just watched Boothie get a bit sketchy after the chicane, and Gav almost had him.
We'll keep an eye on that. I'm currently watching what could be a move for second place. B17 very much on the rear, well, in pursuit of the rear of Mindful Wasp. Melvin is not far away either. Can B17 line him up? Not this time into Tamarello, he's just too far back. B17 has now made the mistake that Rob Smith made last lap, being too aggressive into turn 1 and 2. Melvin, is he going to get deja vu? Not here, but Melvin is now very close to the Mercedes man. Just remind everyone about the tyres that everyone is on. Now then, this is the point when the medium tyre is starting to give up. The hard tyre will now come good. This is, of course, Mindful's had a big moment at Peratella, just keeps it going. This is, of course, where many people will find the medium tyre no longer has its real pace. The heat and the wear is going to start to go against you, and the hard tyre will come good. Now B17 is just within that DRS. Oh, B17's at the moment! Oh, he's round. He's kept it going, but he's had a bit of a moment. That's dropped him behind Mutt's Nuts, who's now up to P4. He's quietly snuck through the field today. And that means that Rob Smith versus B17, the fight we had earlier, is back on. Let's stay with the Papaya man. Rob Smith looking to make his way back through the pack after that incident with Fox River. No, sorry, that incident where he... it was Neil that had the incident with Fox River, apologies. Rob Smith, actually, B17 at the inside of Mutt's Nuts, there's a collision! There's a collision, and B17 is a collision again with Mutt's Nuts, and that's allowed Rob Smith to get through. Now RSC Danny's through. Wow! What a change of position. We just saw... collision B17!
Carbon fibre flying.
B17's now lost some front wing off the back of RSC Danny, and now... Hold on a minute.
Having a look
the
now.
Sausage Hunter has pursued the back of the triangle. Now then, this is where B17 is going to struggle. Gav is getting on the way down to Minerale. He's back in this on this collision. Oh, B17 is understeer through being on the tighter line, and the broken wing has allowed Gav an opportunity to get up the around the outside, but that then caused the collision, and Gav will aim to pass the Mercedes man at his first opportunity. He cannot afford to wait around. Now then, into Ravazza. All this time, we haven't touched on it, but Jackster is running away, and all these dramas going on. It's allowing Mindful Wasp to stay both close to him and save his tyres, but also not be threatened. But here we go. Gav is vulnerable because he's out of ERS. BS17 is vulnerable out of ERS. We've got a fight ahead. Mutsnuts having a look at Rob Smith. He doesn't get the move done though. RFC Danny was very quick in MRCX on Friday. He looks ever quick again today. But B17's wing damage isn't stopping him. He's having a look at this on a Villeneuve. Oh, he's gone wide again. Is Gav going to get the move done this time? He does. Gav round the outside on the exit of Villeneuve onto Toza.
Will Boothie have a look now, because he's now onto the back of the train as well now.
He is. We have a yellow flag. Schofield has gone inside another man. Philip Schofield needs to settle down. And so does our own Schofield. He's had another collision with that Mazo. Keep an eye on that, will you please, Carl? Ooh, RC Danny's had a moment at La Raleigh. That will allow Gav to have a sniff at his rear as well. Oh, the collision between the two Astons! Gav has hit the back of RC Danny going into a very anti-outer. Danny has then gone straight on and got the penalty.
On either car.
Yeah, Gav has hit RC Danny. He's gone straight on a very anti-outer. Gav, I think, may have some damage from that. Oh dear, we may hear more later, but as teammates, they might work it out between them in a friendly handshake or in a Glasgow kiss. Now then, B17 is lining up Night Shadow. Gav defends the inside. B17 round the outside. Can he stick it out there? They're still side by side. Feet on the rally part 2 through the third part, and B17's got the move done. Cracking driving from the pair of them. Very aggressive. Boothie now.
Doesn't seem to hamper him that much, that lack of end plate.
Indeed, he's surviving. And Boothie now up to P8, Ghost Rider P9, and RC Danny down to P10. I did say in qualifying, Ghost Rider is someone who in the race comes good. But look here, Neil and Fox River are side by side, heading to Piratella. We've seen these two go side by side into this corner earlier and have a collision, but they make it through this time. And look, the ever beautiful Error Voice is just behind them, ready to play. He's ready to put his Willie where it matters. The Williams is primed to go. Baby Hornet not having a dream race so far. The Red Bull team are having a bit of a disaster as it goes. Baby Hornet P15 at the moment. His teammate Connor, the championship leader, currently P20. He said pre-race this was not a track he enjoyed, and he was not looking forward to it. Nevertheless, there is, as
pitting, I think he's had enough of that lack of
oh dear. Wing. As I always say, there's a long way to go, isn't that right, Carl?
Indeed, especially when we're only on lap 11.
Indeed, we are a third of the way into this race. Mindful Wasp, the gap is starting to come down from him to Jackster. Bear in mind, Jackster will probably pit in the next 2 to 3 laps, unless a safety car comes out. The pit lane here is a very long one, so the gamble on waiting for a safety car really is worth it, because it's just how long a pit stop it is here.
Yeah, because I think they extended the pit lane a few after they last raced it, because of obviously all the endurance races. So they've obviously had to extend the pit lane. So it's like length of 2 pit lanes now, roughly. You've got the new part and the old. Bruce is still on the back of Gav, but the gap's starting to open up because obviously, as you say, the mediums will start dropping off roundabout now. Indeed, this is prime time for the hard tyre runners. Boothie on, of course, the mediums, as you say there, will start to deteriorate, but look at the chaos behind RSC Danny.
Ghost Rider and Fox River getting very dicey down the main straight. Fox River gets the position off of Danny. Just behind them is Neil. And look at this, RC Danny just not wanting to give up. Right, so let's get back to the front. It's all spread out a bit at the front again. Jackson seems to have found his groove again. He's just extended a couple of attempts to be mindful. Melvin in P3, just out of the DRS. Well, I say just. He's 2.7 seconds out behind the leader. Rob Smith back up to P4 after a few little moments earlier. He's recovered himself. Now, Much Nuts, again, there's a little gap between all of them. Nothing too much. Gav, he's doing a thing in P6. Interestingly, we've got a good spread of drivers on each tyre strategy, and of course, a few people have had to pit early. FireJ Rooster, the one that really had to pit early, was because of his soft tyres. They were going off at a rapid rate. Boothie in P7, he's the man who's made the most positions this race, and it's good to see. He's currently studying as part of his degree, so he doesn't always have time to practice, but when he does, and when he does have a good race, you definitely know when he likes the track. Neil, by the way, is making a move on RSC Danny. Let's jump on board. In simple DRS pass by the means of the main straight. Carl, who are you watching?
I just watched Fox go around the outside of Ghost Rider using DRS into Tamburello.
Nice.
Nice and clean.
Cool as you like. As cool as a cucumber. B17 having pitted. He has set the fastest lap of the race at 20.3. And he's just overtaken our voice. Got to be nice to my favourite Fabian. Come on, Carl, be nice to my Fabian. Philip Schofield, P16, just like the men he likes. At the moment, he's got Scratch Charisma just behind him. Another man with a lot of pace. Back Mazo chasing down after Fire Rooster. And then Connor, Phil Collins. Connor is last of the pack still. But again, a safety car would change everything. Now, just as I said last lap that Jackster was pulling away again from Mindful Wasp, Mindful Wasp was found half a second in the last 2 laps. The gap is coming down again.
Oh, Booth is pitting.
Indeed, this is the time the medium tyres you really start thinking it's lap 12, 13, 14. They are the laps to consider pitting. We are now on lap 14, so expect a lot of the medium runners in this lap or next lap.
Quick question, Chris.
Go for it.
Undercut or overcut? What do you prefer here?
I like an undercut no matter what. However, if you're going to come out in fresh, clean air like Dan Booth has just done, then you're all good. If you're going to come out in traffic, I would keep going and gamble on waiting for the gap to open. A track like Imola, it's so hard to overtake, you can't afford to get stuck in traffic. Speaking of traffic, Gav and Mutt Nuts looks like the most juicy battle on track right now. Mutt Nuts makes an error coming out of Aqua Minerale, and that allows Gav a very simple move through. That's P5 for the Flying Scotsman. Just behind them, you've got Ghost Rider at Fox River, and then Neil also on the comeback trail. Oh, our leader Jackster has pitted full about time. That allows Melvin and Mindful Wasp to run away into the distance. Mr. Hodgson says commentators are just discussing French drinks. Ah, this is to do with Connor throwing his bottle out, I believe. Okay. Well, I mean, by the way, Connor, disclaimer, I didn't say he had a bottle. But anywho. Back Mazo is the next victim of the track limits here. Because of how narrow and tight a track it is surprisingly easy, despite not getting an advantage, but to get a track limit penalty. You don't get an advantage by running offline here, but it's easily done.
Jackster's come out in some nice clean air.
That is exactly what he would love to see on those hard tyres, and he now needs to pray that for the next 7 or 8 laps there is no safety cars. If there are any, he will be very much compromised.
Our resident Schofield has just been caught speeding in pit lane, so he's just got 5 seconds.
Just like the rest of the family, he likes to get up to legal activity then. Hopefully the other Schofields will get harsher penalties for their actions. We really need to stop saying that. We're going to get in trouble soon. Now
you
then.
need to stop saying it.
No. Never. Okie dokie. So that Connor's in the wall at Tamburello. Connor has very much gone into the wall at turns 1, 2 and 3. And now Schofield will be all over the back of the Red Bull. Mind you, Connor and Schofield are at risk of being lapped by Mindful Wasp as we speak. Schofield has pitted, whereas Connor has not, so we'll see if that will remain to be the case. Mindful Wasp has a 3.5 second lead to Melvin. Night Shadow, Gav is now up to P3 as Rob Smith has pitted for the hard tyre. Most of the medium runners have now pitted. The only exception is Connor, who pitted very early on from the hards to the mediums. Will he go back to the hard tyre later? Or will he go for another medium? We will have to wait and see. Now then, Mindful...
Barber says Pet Lizard is P2.
Now then, yes. I'll let him have that. I have no comments, I have no words.
Nah, yeah.
Indeed. Now then, RC Danny, the latest member of the penalty club. Call them all Penaldo. I'd like a safety car just so we can talk about Italian food. Oh, Connor is in the pits. Have his mediums had enough? I believe they could well have done. It's about time that the mediums give up, and he's going to the hard tyre. Back to that hard tyre that he started the race on.
Oddie wants to see pens, Chris.
Yes.
He wants to see the penalties.
Yes, let's have a look at some penalties. Bear with me. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I am useless. Right, penalties. RFC Danny and Baby Hornet both have 6 to their name. Boothie and B17 have 3. Scratch Charisma has 5. Rooster 8, Back Mazo 6, and Schofield 11. I'm not going to make a comment on that. So, everyone on the track is now on the hard tyre. The top 8 drivers all need to pit again, as does Scratch in P15 and Back Mazo in P18. Everyone else has got the facilities to go to the end. Now then, let's look for some battles. Neil and Ghost Rider. Neil is just within the DRS gap of Ghost Rider. He's just 3/4 of a second, and Ghost Rider's had a big moment coming out of very empty outer. And he's out of DRS too. Ghost Rider's only saving grace here is that he will get DRS from the Ferrari ahead of him. Melvin now pits, as does Ghost Rider. That's interesting. I think Melvin and Ghost Rider pitting for the mediums now. I think that might be a lap early, but they're going for the undercut and they see the threat of the guys in the hard tyre with their new pace. They want track position. Let's see where they come out. Baby Hornet will come out ahead of them. Jackster comes flying past those guys.
Oh, we've got a yellow flag at...
we do. It's Back Mazo. That's Back Mazo's gone rounds, I believe. He has got it going again. And Melvin has, of course, kept his position over Jackster. Sorry, Jackster kept it over Melvin even. The gap looks about the same as before. It doesn't look...
Oh, sorry, Chris. I was watching B17 go for a move on Boothie and there was contact going into turn 1.
Oh dear, that's a shame. Did Boothie lose out at all? Was it just B17?
I think they both lost out.
Oh dear.
Because they were both ended up going round.
That is a shame. But it looks interesting that Melvin's not lost anything to Jackster in that process, and now he has the better tyre. Will the tyres last to the end? They should do, but will the pace be there? Jackster now needs to defend like a lion as Melvin will come at him. Mutt Nuts, meanwhile, is all over the back of Rob Smith. This is for currently P9, but later on this could be for a podium. It's definitely a fight for the 2 of the drivers in the top 5 net after pit stops. And we have RFC Danny in the pits, and he's sped whilst on the way into the pit lane. Easily done here. Anyway, Mutt Nuts will have a slipstream and DRS on the back of the McLaren. Can he get the move on this Tamburello? This surely is going to be an easy bread and butter pass. And no, Mutt Nuts just doesn't have the straight line speed. Rob Smith will hang on. Back Mazer with another 3 seconds. It's not quite his day today. RFC Danny coming up the pits. Where will he resume? Just behind the Fire Rooster. But he's on much nicer tyres. Oh, Connor is in AI mode. Interesting.
It's all spread out again now.
Indeed. Indeed.
I think the closest scrap though is probably Ghost Rider's gone at Piratella.
Yep, we're on board with Boothby. That will surely be a safety car.
Safety car.
It is. He's lost it. He's done a George Russell. Lost it on the exit of Piratella on the way down the hill. Right, we finally got our food talk, and that is really, really good news for Mindful Wasp, Night Shadow, Fox River, and Neil, and Baby Hornet as well. Actually, really good news for the top 5, because all of them will now pit and gain significant advantages over their rivals. Oh dear, Jackster does get back to P2, so he's only lost 1 position out of this, but he would have been in the lead again. Melvin, Night Shadow's a real gainer out of this. He's up to P4. Rob Smith, Mutts Nuts, they all feel really hard done by out of this. Interesting to see a few of the guys on the hards are now pitting for another set of mediums. I think track position would have been fine personally, but we will see.
I think track position's more important here because there's only really probably one main overtaking spot, which is the start-finish straight, unless you get a good run out of Tozer.
Indeed.
Anyway, you're on about food talk?
Oh yes, the Wednesday of the mio day. When in Rome, as they say, or in this case, when in the Mid dell'Italia Gran Premio de Emilia Romagna, San Marino, Imola Grand Prix. Now then, Italy, food-wise, we all love to talk about pasta and pizza. Carl, what is your favourite pasta?
I'd have to go for penne.
Do you mean penne?
Penne, yeah.
Just on its own, or is there a particular pasta dish you like?
Mind you, I do like going for a good mac and cheese.
There we go. It's about as Italian as I am, but still, it's pasta. I'm quite a fan of carbonara and lasagna myself. Let's get the ladies and gentlemen in the stream hungry. What about pizza? Where do you stand on pizza?
No pineapple.
Right, that's very Italian. I like pineapple on pizza. Mr. Anthony Huxley NATO has popped up. The French, English, Portuguese Pitbull Mr. Worldwide is here. Mr. Worldwide, hello. Hodge likes a Parmo della Borra, which, as we all know, is not Italian, but it has Parmesan on it, and that kind of makes it Italian. You don't stand on pizza. Well, no, I meant where do you stand on pizza in a non-literal sense. Pizza is too good to be wasted by standing on it. Thank you, though, Ant, for correcting what was quite a simple but clear faux pas on my part. I'm very sorry to let you down. You tell what, Mr. Hodge and Mr. Huxley, please tell us what your favourite pizzas and pastas are. Now. I want to know. Fabian Shelton, if you like pineapple on pizza, I will resign as your teammate. Fabian! Right, Mr. Error Voice, I've been lovely to you all stream. I've been nothing but a fanboy of Error Voice all stream, and this is how you pay me. I mean, professional voice. That's an interesting remark from Fabian Shelton. We will have a Mercedes team debrief back at Brackley on
Monday. Pipes up, yes, Bailey, pineapple on pizza. So we got somebody agreeing with you.
Seafood pasta, good shout, Mr. Hodge. I'm just going to say now, Mr. Shelton, aka Error Voice, you have been summoned to Brackley. Fabian, it's James. That's all I'm going to say. Fabian, it's James. And if you don't know, then stop watching Drive to Survive and watch some Formula 1. Pineapple on pizza is fantastic. Anthony Huxley
against it.
likes a Neapolitan. That's ice cream, Huxley. Quit your gelato and your 99p flake. We're talking about pizza. James, I don't like pineapple on pizza. Right, oh dear, what has happened? They are into anarchy, everybody. I am very sorry. My local pizza place make a mean kebab pizza. I tell you what, that is one thing I do like. Is after a night out, a doner kebab pizza is an absolute belter.
I've had one of those, yeah.
James, I like pineapple pizza. So Fabian has officially been told he can keep his drive at Mercedes for the next 2 races. He's not going to be replaced by Nico Redcar Ramboberg. Oh, I thought he meant a Neapolitan as in the ice cream. Oh, Mr. Huxley, I'll let you off on this occasion. But if you tell me you like olives, that's it for me and you. We're over. Right, I should probably get back to racing. So nearly the whole field has taken this fantastic opportunity, as Mr. Hodgson pointed out, to get a cheap pit stop. The big winner from this is Mindful Wasp, who has taken the lead of the race, of course. Jackster will be livid, having earned the lead early on, roared away, driven a flawless race, and he now faces being behind Lewis the Maverick. Now then, further down the order, Gav has made his way up to P4 as well, a big jumper. And interestingly, only Connor, Jay Rooster, Dave Johnny, Rob Smith and Jackster are on the hards. Everyone else is now back on the mediums. And Fabian Shelton has just been ejected from the Mercedes seat because he does like olives, and that is not allowed. Olives are vile.
I'm with you, Chris.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Fabian, but Fabian, it's James. Anyway, back to the racing. Mindful Wasp goes out of Ravioli Ramazza 2, but he's not caught Jackster out. Jackster's ready to pounce. Here we go. Jackster ready to make a move. Goes to the outside. He's going to run the outside to Tamburello. 2 abreast and turn 1. Mindful Wasp brakes ever so late and he makes it stick. Jackster has to settle. Mindful roars away and immediately Melbourne's right behind Jackster already. The new medium tyres clearly are working. Jackster will have his work cut out to make it to the end of the race at this pace. Night Shadow is also ready to pounce. We know how much Gav loves to jump on something.
In 18th. I've just seen the yellows, but I don't know what happened.
Mr. Radbands, unfortunately, it's all gone from really good to really bad for him today. Fox River, it's going well for him today, P5. We have a yellow flag, B17. He has Neil is chased by Rob Smith, his teammate, and Baby Hornet. His race has come alive after what was an awkward first stint. He's now in the points in the Red Bull, saving some points for the team today.
Fox has just got Gav before the chicane.
Oh dear. That means that Tifosi will be happy with P3 and P4. Error Voice, my former fellow teammate, he's now just been sacked for disagreeing with me on pizza, olives and pineapple. He'll be demoted to one of our customer teams, possibly tier 4. He's under attack from Much Nuts. Oh, with a yellow flag!
Melvin just went round the outside of Jackster.
Oh wow, Jackster on those hards is really not having a good time right now. And the next car to give him a reach around the next corner will be the Fox Bingo, the River Master. I think that Jake Card, the Fox River 8, needs to take a good long look at himself because he's come to Imola and has River in his name after they've just had a flood. I think that's worth a 25 million point penalty. As Melvin's had a moment at Aqua Minerale. Does that allow Jackson through? Oh, we got Weaving behind! And B17 has lost it at Villeneuve. Are we going to see a safety car?
Doesn't look like it.
Mark Hodgson says, and I'm going to do it, not to mention Schofield in the reach around the same sentence. Well, I'm going to reach around my controller to look at Schofield. Schofield is at the back of the pack. Hopefully that's not a pack of children. ITV bosses will be quick to hide and lie about that. And we'll... Oh my... Okay. B17, we might have seen on stream a deliberate DNF there, I'll be honest with you. That's
a full safety car as well.
That was very blatant in every sense of the word. And anyway, let's move on swiftly. Right, so anyway, yeah, Carl, run us through the order. Why don't you be ever so kind?
Well, obviously, Mindful Wasp still leads after getting a good restart and being on the medium tyres. Melvin finds himself in second. Jackster, being on the hard tyres, now finds himself third, but still in contention. Fox fourth, Gav fifth. We've got two McLarens in sixth and seventh. Baby Hornet, the leading Red Bull, in P8. Donny ninth, then the two Williams in 10th and 11th. Mutz Nuts 12th, Boothie in 13th, RFC Danny 14th, Scratch Charisma is 15th, Back Mazo 16th, and your favourite Schofield in 17th.
Indeed, Connor has also DNF'd from the session. I'm not sure how he's DNF'd as well, but I believe that was after the safety car. But anywho, we will leave that one be as the pack catches up to the safety car. Donny has taken the chance.
Championship, mind you.
It is indeed. So we're now seeing RFC Danny, Neil, Scratch Charisma, Back Mazo, and Philip Schofield are all pitting. Going to gamble on the soft tyre, it would seem, which I think is quite a good gamble at this stage to make. They're all out of the points anyway, so may as well gamble. There's a lot of penalties ahead of people, so let's flick the penalties back on the scheme and have a little look. So 8 seconds for Faria J Rooster is a big one. 6 for Baby Hornet, 3 for Melvin. All sorts of the points. Boothie for 3. Danny has 9. 3 for Scratch and Neil. 9 for Back Mazo, and Schofield has 6. I've decided the B17, following that crash, I'm going to name him Daniel Kvyat because he is a torpedo. And he went rocketing into that wall. But I will move on swiftly. I hope B17 is okay. Whilst it was only a computer crash, I imagine he's not a happy bunny after a difficult race. Now then.
He was having a solid race as well.
Well, we went into a solid wall just afterwards, so that's
true.
Solid times solid.
Solid all round.
Solid all round, exactly. Now then, we've got a chance to talk about the gelato. Gelato. Ice cream. Do you like the ice cream?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. Go full Churchill on me, why don't you?
Oh,
right.
yes.
Right then, Carlito. Pick an ice cream and make it a good one. If you say rum and raisin, I'm going to slap your biscuit out of your mouth.
No, if it were that'd be fudge. As for ice cream, mint choc chip.
Okay, 999, what is your emergency? I'd like to check the hard drive on Carl Evans, please. We've got a case of Philip Schofield. There is, I repeat, a case of Philip Schofield. No, I'm not talking about Gillette, the shaving products, Anthony. You just like to cause problems, Mr. Huxley. What is it with the French and cause... Oh, no, that's not true. What is it with the Anthonys of the world and being problems?
Hodge. Yes, Hodge. Mint choc chip is mute.
Well, Hodgson, why would you want pineapple flavoured ice cream? God, check your hard drive while we're at it, Hodgson. We've got a serious case of some people. Mr. Shelton.
Your favourite teammate's popped up again.
I don't like crisps, and when watching a movie, my girlfriend eats crisps, and I eat olives or bread with olives. Right, seriously, Shelton. That's it, you're not going to call Fabi anymore. Shelton.
Barber says B17's wheel disconnected.
In which case, we'll call him Sebastian Buemi. The wheels come off and he goes straight on into the wall. But coming back to Fabian, Ever Error Voice with a comment there about eating olives all the time. Check your hard drive while we're at it. I think there's something wrong with you.
I I think you need a new teammate.
Yeah, I need a new teammate. Sorry, Fabian, but I need a new teammate. Anthony, meanwhile, Neil's retired under the safety car, by the way. He's just retired coming out of Aqua Rally. And Anthony says he has a lavender honey flavour ice cream in the south of France. I'd have that. Anyway, championship permutations, while we're here very quickly, is Jackson right now is going to pull into that 30-odd point, 40-odd point lead of Connor. He's going to pull a good 15 points.
33 to be exact.
He's going to pull a good few points from here, but Mindful's gone early out of Ravazza 1. Is Melvin going to pose a threat? Oh my word, Melvin really is eager to get this going. Melvin's going to have a move done surely into turn 1 here. Here we go. And in turn 1, Mindful defends brilliantly on this occasion. Melvin now under big threat from Jackster. Jackie Chan, whose real name is Bart. What can he do? He has to watch out. The Foxy Bingo all over the back of him is going to be a threat. Melvin's 3-second penalty does mean, however, that if Jackson stays relatively close, he will inherit second place. Fox River, being a higher tier driver, will lose positions.
That puts Gav net third.
Gav is net third right now, although saying that, he has then just gone wide at Peritella. He needs to be careful. Just behind them, Baby Hornet, very close to the back of Rob Smith. We've got a car round. It's back Mazo. And Ghost Rider, Frank Martin, Ghost Rider, the Frenchie, has said he didn't lose it. His teammates spun and collected him. That is a shame.
You never want that to happen, being collected by your teammate.
No, that is the equivalent of the French in every war when they decide to surrender and just give up. No, this is all gone wrong for me. I will surrender and I will take my teammate with me. That is my French accent. C'était très mal. Anyway, back to the race. Back Mazo is back running again, and Baby Hornet is all over the back of Rob Smith. Heading down to Tamburello, DRS will become alive in the coming laps, but Night Shadow, Fox River and Jackster, that's the fight that's just coming alive.
The front two have checked out.
Frank Martin, do you not like my French accent? He is saying, it is hilarious. That does not mean it's very good. I am insulted. I feel like I am not being treated seriously. Indeed, you're right. The front two have checked out.
Really there, Chris?
No, it's me trying. I like the French. I like the French accent. I'm the opposite of Gav. I like the French. I like the French. Schofield's out! And just like Phillips, Schofield has come out. And, yep. I need to be careful now. Right, the safety car is officially out again. So, Philip Schofield is officially not in the running anymore. That is a shame, of course. We do like to see our new drivers, and I know we've made some jokes, but we do like to see our new drivers back on track when they can. So, don't get your head down, Mr. Schofield. Get your head up and come back and fight again. But for those who have penalties, this is the ultimate nightmare. The safety car will come in either this lap or next lap. And this, as we saw in Tier 1 with Kid Dynamite, is going to really ruin the likes of Baby Hornet, Rob Smith and Melvin. Jackster just needs to keep it clean. We're going to get 1 lap for definite, maybe 2.
I don't think we'll get any DRS race.
We cannot get DRS, unfortunately. So, what we're going to see now is definitely a real fight between Melvin and Mindful Wasp.
How aggressive do you think some of these are going to go?
I think we could see some do or die. You've got to remember, Fox River is a higher tier driver, so he will take a penalty at the end of this race regardless. Melvin has a time penalty, as does Rob Smith and Baby Hornet. So that potentially means that the top 10 is going to look completely different once the racing concludes. We will see in just over 2 laps' time, but ultimately this top 10 is not going to be anywhere near the same. The problem is that we have is RFC Danny down to Bat Mazo, who are 11th to 15th, all out of the points, all have penalties as well. So very few of them are going to be able to capitalise on it, but the top 10 itself will shuffle around in order. Frank Martin says Abu Dhabi. No, no, no. We're not talking about Abu Dhabi. You drove for Mercedes last season. You cannot have that. I now need to go and see my counsellor. I'm not okay. Melvin, however.
I'm fine.
Melvin and Jackson personally enjoyed that day, and I'm not happy about it. But Mindful Wasp will now get the 2-lap shootout for the end of this race. Here we go. Mindful Wasp has done a few safety car restarts today, and he goes a bit later this time. But Melvin is ready, as is Jackster, as is Fox River. Look how close he is to the Mercedes.
Ooh, that's a sandwich.
And Melvin's now coming up to Mindful Wasp. Fox River's going on the other side of Jackster. Jackster cannot afford to fight.
Tifosi go mad.
They do. Jackster cannot afford to get. Oh my gosh! Jack Fox River's gone. Oh my word! And Night Shadow's got ahead of Jackster. This is not what Jackster needed. He needs every position he can get. Oh wow, that was chaos. I can't say much more than that. That has promoted the betrayer that is Error Voice into P7. Mate, that P8 is Mutt Nuts rightfully takes positions off of him. Good job, Mutt Nuts. Keep it up. Now then, Mindful Wasp is running away at the front. Melvin, with that penalty, needs to Scarper. He's Scarpered all over the curbs, though, and that's not going to help him. Danny has got a 3-second penalty. That means he's surely going to finish last today. Jackster needs to keep it close.
He needs to take Gav, that's what he needs to do.
He does. Gav, meanwhile, is looking at the back of Melvin. He's liking the rear end of the Ferrari. Here we have, just like Fernando Alonso, he'll be looking at that Ferrari thinking, yeah, it's my next victim. But with no DRS, can Melvin hang on? Gav does like a slippery car. He does tend to go for the high-speed setups. Has he today? It doesn't look like he has, but Melvin's out of DRS. He's used it early. But it looks to have worked as he is held position into Tamburello. This front four, any one of these four could win the race. All it takes is one mistake. And the order will change. Baby Hornets retires! Oh, Simon. Oh, he's in the pits. Oh, Simon. Oh, no. He's not had a good day, nor has his teammate in the Red Bull. It's just been a disaster, really, for the team from the Milton Keynes. Now then, Mindful Wasp is still leading. Melvin is close behind. Third is Gav, and fourth is Jackie Chan. But who is this in P5? Rob Smith leading the train that is the AlphaTauri duo of Johnny and Charisma, followed by Mutt Nuts. Oh, we got AlphaTauri rounds! Oh my, oh, there's a collision! Oh my god! Scratch lost it, and unfortunately that meant that he took it back, he took with him Mutt Nuts, but Mindful Wasp is coming into Ravioli Ravazza 1. He is going to take the lead. Sorry, take the lead, hold on to the lead. Melvin, ever so close behind him. Will Melvin get the gap he needs to Jackster? Mindful Wasp takes the win. Melvin will drop down to fourth as Gav takes second. Jackster takes third. 1/10 between the two of them. Fourth for Melvin, fifth for Dave Johnny, sixth for Rob Smith. Error Tracer Voice, P7. Less to the better, Jay Rooster, P8. Boothy, P9. Back Mazo recovers for a point after what a chaotic race. Oh my word. And if you think that was exciting, give us a like, give us a subscribe, ring the bell and get commenting, because you know what? You might be our next latest joiner to the MRC Racing Leagues. Come and play with us. Jacob gets driver of the day from the game. Carl, who's your driver of the day?
It's a tough one because you could probably say Mindful for the control of the race, but you go first. I still need to think.
I am going to give my driver of the day to anyone but Error Voice. I'm betrayed by him. No, on a serious note, driver of the day. You know what, I'm going to go for Mindful Wasp. I think it was a very, very mature drive, a very controlled race from his point of view. The safety car did help him, but ultimately, I think he did a fantastic job today. And I know it's easy to say a pole to win, but ultimately I think that was a very good drive from him. Although notable mentions to Fire J Rooster and Boofy. I think they had very good drives too. What about you, Carl?
I think I've got to agree with you on that one with Mindful, because obviously, yes, it's pole to pole. He got the strategy call right with the safety car,
Indeed.
but every restart he did very, very well, cool,
Indeed.
calm, and collected.
Right. Just to quickly go through the results. First, Mindful. Second, Night Shadow. Third, Jackster. Fourth, Melvin. Fifth, Donny. Sixth, Rob Smith. Seventh, Aerovoice. Eighth, Fire J Rooster. Ninth, Boofy. And 10th, Back Mazo. Commiserations to Danny, Much Nut, Scratch Grismo, Baby Hornet, Fox River, Schofield, Neil, B17, Connor, and Ghost Rider. Today, for who didn't get any points, but nevertheless, what a show the Tier 3 boys put on for us today. That was more than exciting, that was thrilling, and don't get too calm, because Tier 4 racing is coming next, so we're going to get more of the same, I'm sure. We always see plenty of action at tracks like Imola, and it's definitely one of the fan favourites and driver favourites. Don't forget to like and subscribe, ring the bell, join us on Instagram, Facebook, and Discord. Links are in the description and on the channel, so come and join us, become part of the Discord and part of the family. But thank you for everyone tuning in to join me and Carol tonight. Join in at 8:45 UK time for Tier 4 action, which is coming up very shortly. And yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you, Carl, and good night.